Listen up, you blundering fools. It's time for the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. Get all the toy talk your evil heart could desire from these nincompoops. Jason and Elgin.
Yo, toys, and welcome to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast, where friends get together to talk about one of our shared loves,
ravioli.
How do they get all that inside the and toy
Magic.
collecting? We're also talking about
good.
toys here today. We're going to celebrate how these little colorful pieces of plastic can transform you into a little kid again. If this is your first time listening to us or watching us live on YouTube every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, welcome. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you being here. There's a lot of things in the world that takes up your time and attention, and we're happy that you're giving us a little bit of it. So appreciate it. But you're going to learn soon enough that we're not toy experts. We brought one on today. You'll hear from him in a second, but technically, Elgin and I, experts on nothing. We know nothing. We just like talking toys.
We know nothing.
And that's going to be okay.
Yes. But before we jump into today's episode, we've got something exciting to tell you about. It's our Patreon and YouTube community, The Core. When you listen to The Core, that's the Cracktastic organization of retro plastic specialists, you unlock a treasure trove of exclusive perks made just for hardcore collectors like you. You get bonus episodes, shout-outs, early access, plus an exclusive chat with us and the other Core members. So don't wait. Enlist in The Core today. Just go to enlistinthecore.com. Help support the show.
Every collector has to start somewhere. And in this episode, we're blasting off into a galaxy far, far away to talk about starting a Star Wars vintage figure collection. With decades of figures, variants, and vehicles out there, it can be a little overwhelming. But fear not, young Padawan. We'll help guide you to a solid launch point with a special focus on the original 12 Kenner figures that began it all in 1978. From Luke and Leia, Vader to the Jawa, we'll break down what makes these figures so iconic and how to navigate your first steps as a vintage collector. And we're not making this journey alone. Oh, no. Back on the show is our favorite pal, the guy who's kind of his fault this all started. It's our good friend Jake Book, who just started down this exciting and slightly obsessive path himself. He's recently taken his first steps into a larger world of vintage Star Wars collecting, and we're thrilled to hear what's caught his eye so far. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just thinking about picking up your first figure, this episode is for you. Welcome, Jake, to the show.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I like ravioli a lot too.
Yeah, is that one of your favorites? Is it Chef Boyardee? Do you all kinds? Do you prefer
I'm down
like
for
a
whatever.
cheese?
I do like a cheese. What is that they put in there? It's like
what is it?
Ricotta.
It's it's like
Probably
mystery
ricotta or
cheese,
something.
really. Yeah, ricotta.
Yeah.
No, I like some ravioli. Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
it deep fried.
Oh yeah, that's a.
I've
The kids love
not
that.
experienced this
Extra
variety.
crunchy. Yeah. Anyway, later in the show, Elgin's going to take us on a tour of a toy store, and that's going to be fun. And you can follow us on all of the social media platforms, including Patreon. And those links can be found at our website, cracktasticplastic.com. And while you're surfing the interwebs, be sure to stop by our sponsor, toyhacks.com, for all your repro label needs. They also have an armory there where you can get some toy-accurate 3D printed weaponry and tons of amazing sticker sets for your toys. We also have a monthly contest that Elgin's going to tell you all about.
That's right. Every month, we post something to our social media pages for you guys to comment on, and then we'll pick the best, most funniest, or worst, whatever we feel like on that day. Comment, and then you guys will get a $5 coupon sent electronically through the post office. But check it out every month. We'll post something there. So check daily to see when
Daily.
we post.
It's important. Check every day.
There's so many posts on there. They might get lost in the shuffle. So check daily so that you can comment, and then we'll pick the best one, and then you win a $5 coupon
Love it.
toyhacks.com.
Love it. Well, before we get on to the show, I just want to say hi to the chat. We got Jimmy Lee Dalton over there. He's going, let's go.
Jimmy.
And I feel like we actually have a actual expert here. We got Jimbo Fett's Toy Tomb. He said, greetings to fairs. Glad to be part of this. Greetings,
Nice.
Force fans. And then
Heck
Tiffany,
yeah.
channel member Tiffany, talking trash, saying food always derails everything. That's no kidding.
It's the great equalizer.
This show could slip into a food podcast at any moment. You never know.
Easily.
All right. Well, a little too easy.
Yeah.
Well, let's it's that time.
Yeah.
It's our favorite time. Let's talk about what toys we've picked up lately in a segment we call Thrill of the Hunt.
Listen up, you fools! If anyone knows more about searching for the most unique items in the world, it's me, Cobra Commander. In my reign as Cobra's leader, I have acquired countless items, but those meddling Joes have foiled my attempt at worldwide domination over and over again. But it's the thrill of the hunt that fuels my superb rule of Cobra. Pay attention to my loyal subordinates as they tell you of their latest exploits and acquisitions. It's the thrill of the hunt, Cobra!
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, I know Elgin's been busy getting some toys. Let's see what he's got lately.
Yeah, so just recently we had our very own Cracktastic Plasticon here in Ottumwa. If you missed out, we'll have another one coming up in August. So make sure that you can come out and get some toys there as well. Found a bunch of good stuff there. Starting off, got some sweet Motu pins from Ryan, one of the sellers vendors there. He's actually, I just walked up to his table and he's like, here, take these. And I didn't, he just gave it to me for free, which is the best price. So I got this trap jaw
Free is the
pin.
best.
Yes. Elginomics right there. So I got this trap jaw pin.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. These are Pin Pals, enamel pins, Geek Fuel exclusive. And then Geek curated by BAM! Books a Million, I believe.
Yeah.
Got this. Oh, there's uncommon, common, and ultra rare, apparently. This Beast Man. The shine out of that. Glare off that. There's Beast Man. He's like slobbering.
That's cool. He seems hungry always.
It's actually got some like
Beast.
shinier metallic bits on it too. Can't really see it. And then I got an Orko. It looked like he was doing like black magic or something. I
thought he was doing like
gang signs, maybe. Probably gang signs.
Elgin, does your hat even have room for these?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
We'll see what happens.
I thought about like moving all the pins. I have a space right.
Oh, you do?
Behind there.
Yep.
Back there.
Put a little cork board up there or something.
Put like a little like fabric thing and then just hang pins on it.
That's good.
Like a wall hanger thing. But I do have a space.
You just need a hat. You just need a hat for each collection.
Yeah.
Oh.
True. Or just a giant
Motu
sombrero,
hat.
and then I can just fill it up with pins. So I got those.
I support that
pins.
idea.
You got those from Ryan, you said?
Yes, from Ryan.
And Tiffany says Ryan tried to make me take a whole bag of Pez dispensers. That sounds like him.
That sounds exactly like it. Well, I went up to him, he's like, hey, I got some of these more Motu figures. I'm like, dude, these are the same figures you've been trying to sell to me. They were like wave one figures in shipper boxes. I'm like, I don't want any of these. Like, I have all these Masterverse figures. And then most other stuff I bought at Harpo's table because he had some really good prices on stuff. I picked up this Clubber Lang from Rocky 3, though he's missing his trunk, so technically he's naked.
I'll put a black bar over that.
Yeah,
hold on.
there you go.
There we go.
I did I did paint his beard because it was a little missing,
Choppy.
so I did give him a little touch up with some Just for Men beard stuff there. But yeah, Clubber Lang. These are Remco figures for the Rocky 3. They made Rocky, of course, and then Apollo Creed and Clubber Lang. And then he has those
I'm just
boots.
trusting that the things I'm seeing look really cool because Elgin's been frozen for like
Have I?
Oh no, you're
since
good.
the segment
You're good.
started.
Yeah. But yeah, there's Mr. T as Clubber Lang from Rocky 3. Picked him up. And then I saw he had some Aliens figure. I've been collecting Kenner Aliens figures from the 90s. This came out in 92. This is the Alien Queen I picked up.
Oh man, that's cool.
It does have an action feature of a tail swinging. If I get the right direction. Swinging out like that, attacking with its tail. And then it does have a second mouth action feature that can attack as well and shoot out and get you.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's all kind of black, metallic black paint on it as well. And but yeah, I was showing this to Ethan. He was like, shouldn't the tail be like down here instead of on her back? Like,
Right.
well, but the action feature needs to be that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And this queen does have like extra hands for some reason. So she has these two big hands and then two smaller hands below it, and then two little tiny hands.
How many hands
in
do
the
you
middle.
need, Queen?
Yeah, I think from reading on eBay listing, these are supposed to be like an alien like bursting out, like a baby alien
Oh wow.
coming out of her chest, I guess. I don't know.
That's
It's weird. But
Hmm.
Kenner made these in the early 90s. This is from 92. They do a whole line of aliens and predators and marines, and I've been recently collecting a bunch of the alien figures to fill out the collection of these. Which are pretty cool 90s toys.
Was Kenner as bad as the new NECA and all that, where there's 1 million aliens? Was the NECA or was the Kenner aliens line?
It wasn't that big. I mean, it was.
I mean, it couldn't have been, but
yeah,
you
I think
happen
there's.
to.
I think I have maybe 10. There's like 10 or 12.
Oh, that's
There's not
attainable.
really a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, I think I'm missing a alien, the queen, face hugger.
Mm.
So there's a queen face hugger, which is larger, and that might be it.
So creepy.
Yeah.
And then that playset.
Yeah, the playset too. The little the slime pit playset. I also picked up this vintage Turtles cheapskate, like a skateboard-esque, kind of like a fan boat, like one of those fan boats.
Those are called hovercraft. No, those are called.
They're called just fan boats.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, I also bought this Mikey to go with them because it didn't have a figure. So I was like, well, it needs a figure. So I found this other vintage Mikey in there as well.
If I'm going to sit and play with this at my table all day, I need a Mikey to go.
Exactly. It does have the action feature. So when he pops a wheelie on this little skateboard with the fan, it does have, you can kick out a little foot to attack the Foot Clan. So that just tucks into there. But yeah, it came with the shield. The shield came with it as well. It's just missing the flag, but I don't really need a flag, I guess. It's like a little banner. But the stickers on it were really good. And but yeah, super cheap. And got another vintage Mikey with both his nunchucks in it as well. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. And according to Tiffany, it's not orange.
What? Or maybe it is.
I also picked up from his table this power loader from the Kenner line as well.
That's freaking awesome.
Which is, I need to get a Ripley figure to go with it now. But it does have an action feature of opening the little claw hands on both of them. It does have a little missile launcher on the top as well. It can be tucked back if you need to. Oops, I was shot at the phone. But yeah, so I need to clean it up too. It's a little dirty still. Stickers on it were pretty good, but got super cheap. I've seen these like in box for like 40, 50 bucks. I think I got it for like $10 complete.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, nothing was broken and just a little dirty. But yeah, apparently he had a bunch of figures and stuff that he bought for a guy, and then the guy moved, so he's like trying to offload them. So
I heard that.
Give them to me. The last thing my daughter was in town. She wanted to go to Goodwill to find some clothes and stuff, some like sweaters and things like that. So I was like, "Oh, I'll go with you." And guess what? I found another
Oh, hell
of
yeah.
these kind of
Imperial.
Imperial toys. It doesn't actually say Imperial, but it does say Hong Kong. So it's
Hey.
that would lead me to believe that it's also from that kind of same factory and everything. And it does have a little squeaker in it, like that other one I have.
Oh.
Gonna see it in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dogs are running to the
Yeah. But yeah, it looked. As soon as I saw, it, I was like, oh, grabbing that. But I mean, just the way it looks. I mean, I've seen enough of these Imperial toy esque dinosaurs to know, like that's what this is. I mean, just the crappy molding of it and everything.
Yep.
It's like a dead giveaway, and the teeth and face. It's like that's I know exactly what that is. It was like underneath something, so I'm like, oh, grabbing that. But yeah, this is a Dimetrodon for those that want to know what dinosaur this is.
We do.
Yep. But yeah, that's all I got.
Mohawkadon.
A Dimetrodon with the big fin. But yeah, that's all I got. That was this weekend. That was my weekend haul, I guess. So
That's pretty
don't
good.
normally have a lot of weekend hauls that are this good, especially with vintage toys. So and cheap too. I was under budget. So
You went home with money?
I did. I still have money. That's weird.
That is weird.
I'm going to spend it tomorrow when I buy the Mattel Creations exclusive Shirella, who's going to go right up here.
Oh, that's where your pin collections go. Oh, you meant on
in the tower next to Morgan Freeman.
Of course.
She's on the box art as well. So they're coming out with that tomorrow. Mattel Creations exclusive Shirella, the Huntress figure. So originally she was on the Megator box that we talked about in the Grail episode. You need to be a member to watch that episode, of course.
Well, all right, we got Patreon. Jake back, so let's see what he's picked up lately.
I'm here. All right. Well, I'm here barely. Let's see. So we just made a recent trip to Chicago, and I'm saving a lot of what I picked up recently is going to be for the second segment, but I did find some things that are not that. So this is kind of toy adjacent, but you'll see what I mean. I've been collecting VHS tapes lately. And I found a set of 4 of these awesome Burger King Kids Club turtle tapes. So
love it.
The episodes, it like has the cool like on the back like collect all 4 and
heck yeah.
Invasion of the Turtle Snatchers, April Foolish, The Great Boldini, and Sky Turtles. So these are the sets.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was a cool find. The Burger King Kids Club, I think it ran from like 1990 to 1999, and it was like, it was like all those things in the 90s, like sign up and get free stuff, in the mail. Get a free hamburger. So yeah, I thought those were pretty cool. And then we were up in Chicago and we went to 4 different toy stores up there. Quake and Toy du Jour. I messaged Jason like, that I was like, toy stores go. Like Toy Store Chicago go. And so both of those stores, awesome, really cool. And then the second day we went to Turbo Toys, and I think the other one was Geek Toy Hut or something like that. And that's where I picked up this guy. So this is not an original, but this is from the retro collection that they've been doing for the last handful of years.
Right.
And the ones they have in stores are like a lot of them. It's hard to find ones from like the first wave of them that came out. So I found him at the very last store,
Oh,
which is always, it's always the way. But I have to say, like, as a toy collector, when it comes to like when they come out with like we're doing a vintage line or we're doing whatever,
Like a retro.
or like any kind of retro line, I love historical accuracy. I don't know if you guys are aware of that about me, but
maybe.
I love historical accuracy, and like these are like a 1-to-1 copy of the OGs. Like
That's
it
what you
has the
want. That's all
cool,
you want, right?
yeah, has the cool lightsaber. Has the weird, like I don't know
Tip on
what
I know.
that was about at the time, but we'll get into
Safety.
that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that was a cool find. I also found this guy is not part of the original line, but he is an original line, not part of the original 12, but he is original. This is the Indoor Trooper. So I picked him up at Quake, and that place, man, it's a hot mess, but it is a beautiful mess.
Right, not a free square inch in that place.
No, and you feel like
To the ceiling.
you feel like you're kind of in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like it forces you to kind of be in a hurry because you're like, well, there's like a person here and there's a person over here, and I'm trying to look at this case.
But
And
they want your spot.
Right. People want to buy stuff, and that's right where you need to be. So I came away with, some good things. But so then Toy du jour, I ended up picking. This is not an original either. This is from the 90s line, like the Power of the Force line.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a little low gray Ewok shaman. So the original of him is like insane. Like he's a very sought after figure, I learned. Because he's part of what they call like the last 17 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very highly sought after, complete. So anyway, that was cool. Picked him up.
You're like, this might be the only version I get of this guy. So
it might be the only version I ever get. So so and he looks really cool. So yeah, those are the things I picked up recently. These next couple of things are these are thrill of the hunt from my childhood at my parents' house. I just came across these. So when the Lord of the Rings movies came out that year for Christmas, I got a ton from my grandparents. I got a ton of Lord of the Rings figures. And I found this dude hanging out at my parents' house, Gimli.
Nice.
Now, what I forgot about this figure is the way you get, he has like an action arm, and the way you access that is you squeeze his legs together, and he does the
shopping.
So yeah,
Cool.
so there you go. So that, and then I ended up getting this that year too. This is bigger Gimli.
That's life-size Gimli. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is I put him next to I have like Lord of the Rings on the bookshelf, and he sits next to it as like a little end or whatever. But and then last thing I found at my parents' Thrill of the Hunt home edition is these like Imperial Toy. There's this company called Imperial Toys, and they made this line called Legends of the Old West. And I had a ton of these. This is Geronimo, I believe. And I played with these things. I mean, you guys know I like history and stuff. And like, I just loved that whole, I had all of them. And
Cowboys and
I
Indians
found this guy,
yeah.
Brought back a lot of memories. And anyway.
Oh yeah, no, finding stuff at the folks' house is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's cool. So
awesome.
And next time, hopefully I'll pick up and grab I do have a 90s Power of the Force version of the Millennium Falcon that I will
Nice.
hopefully have soon back in my possession. So,
Nice.
Awesome.
Very cool. Tiff said, she says, I can't hear toy du jour without having PTSD of a lady breaking something. It was nuts when we were there. We were checking out. We were at the counter. We're paying for stuff. And then we heard this old lady behind us where straight back was like more antique
Yes,
glassware and things, you know.
But
I heard this like, what? And then tumble, tumble, roll, 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 tumble, tumble. And I'm like, oh no, that's not what I think. Shattered on the ground. She knocked something off the table and it just broke. Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
a
oh
night
my
terror.
gosh, we had the same thing. We had the same thing happen. There was a Kermit the
no.
Frog. There was a
Just
Kermit the
worthless.
Frog on. I can't remember what he was sitting on. Some kind of like horse, like I don't know. But anyway, I was like 4 feet away from this thing, and it just starts falling towards me. And I reached out and grabbed it, and the guy was like, "Oh, you know." Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
the
"Oh,
gravity's
I'm so
weird
glad
in
it
that
didn't-"
place. I
It
don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
What's
It's weird.
going on.
Stuff just, you'd expect that at Quake, but
Well,
Yeah,
with a
know,
name
I
like
know.
that, that's funny.
yeah.
Oh,
Right.
geez. All right. Well, I got some stuff too. That's right. Cracktastic Plasticon was this Saturday. It was amazing. I don't know where to start, my lovely assistant. So this is something Insane Mike had. He had it the last time and I didn't get it. And I'm like, I just needed Elgin to tell me it was cool. I knew it had no accessories that comes with it, but as a Skeletor collector, I need it. It's this awesome looking dude from
Skeletor.
what Skeletor.
The New Adventures Skeletor.
New Adventure Skeletor with
Space
nothing.
Skeletor, if you think of it that way.
Yeah. I suppose I could
For a
have taken
whole
it.
$1.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I passed on it because I do not collect this line at all. I don't like this line.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the line
the
itself.
reboot of He-Man, the first reboot of He-Man.
Not great, but
It tanked
That's
horrible.
a pretty interesting figure, though. I mean, even like
It's the best one of the entire line. Like it's
you
yeah,
can see
it
he
looks-
would have
I
a
mean-
Havoc staff here in his
Yes.
hands. And
it's a weird Havoc staff
Yeah.
too. It's some like and he has a helmet. He's supposed to have a helmet. He's supposed to have a cape too, I think.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's just weird.
like I
It's
said,
just
$1 to add to the Skeletor collection. I needed to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of
That's,
Insane Mike,
you can't pass it up for $1.
oh, I
Yeah.
know. Elgin can. But I can't. Because I'm a real Motu fan.
It's
just
true.
kidding,
He is a
just
real
kidding.
Mojo fan.
Elgin's refined tastes.
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing with Insane Mike, he goes Goodwilling all the time. You know, a few episodes back was called Goodwill Hunting. We had Mike on and he gave us his secrets and all that stuff. And every time I see him, it seems like he's got some bag. He brought me, he's like, so you'll buy a big bag full of toys for, like $1. He picks out ones he thinks he can flip and then throws the rest in a dollar bin like that one, or he'll save the Transformers back for me. And so he brought me another little bag. I'll just show a few. They're not all of them, but there's a Shockwave here, I believe, from an Energon. It's a one-step changer. Oh,
Yeah.
badass, right? You see that? All just
Pretty.
happened to. But anyway, he's a little bug thing, but he's also, I love one-step changers. Didn't have them, so very neat. Oh, that's on the floor now. I got a Optimus Primal.
Oh,
Pretty neat. It's not a reach to get to monkey mode from
You just have to like bend over.
pretty much, and his head
Monkey.
just changes and switches out. But Optimus Primal, pretty neat. And then there was this one I didn't even know existed. Some Grimlock looking. Oh yeah. So you can see
Cool.
there. Then you just wiggle and pull on stuff, and this is why I don't transform things on stream. Anyway, then he's in the Grimlock mode. One simple step. You saw it? Simple. Thanks,
That's
Mike.
awesome.
Next, these are super cool. They're definitely 100% about my childhood nostalgia. One of the few memories I have, and it really all starts with this blue guy. There's this company called MC Toys, and their gimmick was you pull it back and it goes, and it's a transformer. So the little mechanism that holds that pullback and tire thing, when you put it in a robot mode, you pop it off, you switch it back so it can stand up with this, and then you can still pull back and move. Anyway, here's the first one. I actually had this one, but the guy was only selling a 3-pack, so I'm like, I'll get another one of these guys. It's awesome. and my dad, what makes it special to me, I guess, is that I have memories of Dad and I playing with this thing.
Sure.
Super cool. So you see this little gray plastic thing on there. It just pops off, and when you put them in robot mode, you just flip it around, and then
that's cool.
And so then you can zip him around when he's a robot too. Super simple.
So it's like a precursor to those other ones. The other
kind of, yeah, like arms just flip out, legs pull down, and where's the head? Oh, it just pulls out. So he's this cool dude.
Yeah.
Just a cool dude.
Just a chill guy.
Super simple. And like I said, this pops off and becomes like a stand, and there's
Nice.
one. Sorry. But he had 2 more that I didn't have. Here's this little red Jeep. Pretty cool. Stickers are in great shape. Get Jake back in here. Got this little red Jeep. Super neat. Did not have him. Same. All the pullback mechanism works on all 3 of these. Yeah, really happy about the stickers on that one. Good color.
Great. The other one looked good too.
Yeah, and then lastly, there's this train.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I looked them up when I got my last couple. There might be like 10 of these tops, but one of them's a train. Really neat. Again, stickers not in bad shape, really. You can see got the MC toy right on there, but yeah, really neat. Super simple. Arms flip out, head pops up, legs pull out. All about the same.
Yep.
Like that blue truck, there's a yellow one. Anyway, similar stuff, but I was just super stoked to have just to see those in the wild. Really,
yeah.
It's
I
not
don't think
normal.
I've ever seen those.
Yeah, they're really neat. I like them a lot. Also, since the last couple episodes I've been collecting Tiffany's. I've just been doing that over the last year. My girlfriend's name's Tiffany. So we found at the toy show, they had this Chucky with Tiffany. Oh, $10 for a Toonie Terror. Not bad. And I never had this one. So, and I have a bunch, and I don't have this guy. So pretty great to just find it. It's like two of my favorite things. I talked about this guy the other day on, I can't remember the subject. But it's a toy. This now makes the second one, so I may now be a brony. It's My Little Pony crossover. I showed off the Optimus Prime one. My Little Prime.
Probably crossover episode.
Must have been the crossover. Yes, that's right. I showed My Little Prime on that, and I think I mentioned this cutie, and saw her at the show, and I'm like, well, heck yeah, there's a crossover with Ghostbusters. Little Plasmane.
That's such an interesting cross.
Right? All of them. So weird.
They just need to make like
we need like Care Bears and Ninja Turtles next.
Yeah.
Stridor. I believe that I think Transformers and My Little Pony had like a 4-issue comic, and I think Ghostbusters and My Little Pony had a little 4-issue comic that kind of went with these. So, which is neat. I don't have either of those, but now My Little Prime has Plasmane to hang out with too. So happy.
I'm guessing they'll probably stick with Hasbro owned licensed properties.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And not Mattel.
Over at Harpo's table, couldn't pass this up for several reasons. Maybe I'll leave that and see if Jake pops back into that window. I don't know. Maybe nope. Okay. He's back. So this is a Japanese knockoff thing.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous because they try to give it names. This one's called Hawk Overlord. It's actually a Brave is the toy line. Transformers is this Japanese line called Brave,
Okay.
where it was they took this particular one. It's a couple different things that each are things, and then they turn into a bigger thing. I'll show you. And then it's just packaging is amazing. I have several knockoff style like these, and just seeing that crazy ass Japanese knockoff artwork is ridiculous. So you can see he's this, but he's this, but then they also turn into this
Right.
vehicle, and then they also combine. The back is weird, just to explain things. Just knock off awesomeness.
Yep.
And I'm never gonna ever, like Jake with that one, like I'm never gonna own a Brave toy. They're just too hard to find and too expensive. It just never left Japan, so it's just it doesn't come over here. And so it's a cheap version. The colors are a little different, and the stickers are way more terrible. But it'll just probably live right here, and it was super cheap. And love these knockoffs. Love them. Well, I guess last thing, and it'll be our segue too. Tiffany got me this today when we were in Kansas City. Woke up in Kansas City this morning. We stopped by Back in Time comic or toy store, and she got me this little Darth Pez. You know, because I collect me some Darths
And Pez.
and yeah. So the Pez, I tried to keep just the vintage Halloween ones, but this guy will sit between my Pez collection and my Darth collection. He's the segue for those two. But
perfect.
Is there any? Nope. Okay, no Pez in there. All right, enough of that.
Probably burned up on Mustafa. Nerd talk.
That's awesome.
All right. So Star Wars. I've since this podcast started 5 years ago when Jake put this gosh dang little thing in our brains, like, hey, because it's Jake's fault we're here today.
Yep.
He's like, why don't you guys start a podcast? You're always talking about toys. I'm like, dang, it's COVID. We can't play shows anyway. We might as well. Yeah. So here we are. And since that day, and every time the Star Wars has ever come up, I thank the stars above that I never started down the path of Star Wars toy collecting, because there's so many. There's just so much.
It's
the quantity
is.
So it's scary, very daunting to want to start. And so Jake just was like you mentioned before, in Thrill the Hunt, he went toy hunting a weekend or two ago, and he did it. He fucking did it. He just said, I'm doing it. And he started getting vintage Star Wars toys. What are you thinking? That's what I want to know.
Explain yourself.
Yeah, explain yourself. Perfect time to freeze. Nope, go ahead.
I'm having it. You sound like a robot to me, Jason. So I'm trying to follow you. I think you were saying that.
What made you start?
So many. What made me decide to do this?
Yeah, exactly. He should be afraid to answer.
Yeah,
because
he got sucked away into.
He fell in the Sarlacc pit.
Exactly.
So,
there you go.
So the internet was working really good when we were doing my toy hunt. You guys were moving, and I could see you moving, and then it like fell off again. But so you were asking about why I started doing this. Well, I'd been collecting He-Man for a while, which is kind of, this podcast might be my fault, but your guys is getting me toy collecting is your fault. And
you're welcome.
Star Wars, like you said, is like, it's like the
Like the
Sarlacc
galaxy.
pit
Yeah, it's endless.
of toy collecting. You know, you could digest it for 1,000 years, you know. So that was a pretty good reference.
Yeah.
So so I, you know, I grew up like everybody else. I mean, it feels weird like talking about it because it's like, okay, Star Wars, yawn. Like everybody's into Star Wars, you know. But those figures just look really cool, and I've always thought they looked pretty cool. You know, they're essentially stick figures. But I think for me, like part of the collecting is like part of the collecting. It's why I was so excited that the new like the retro line looks so it's like a
Accurate.
1-to-1 accurate is because of like the history of it. It's the first toy line ever to have like the success that it had as a licensed, you know, for like a movie franchise, you know. And it just like blew up, you know, and there was no expectations that would happen, you know. It did. And you know, and there's the whole like early bird thing, and you know, they signed that deal super late, so you know, hey kid, you know, here's your certificate for Christmas, you know, you can redeem it.
What a concept.
Yeah, you'll get the
Yeah,
figure
like-
sometime between January and June.
Yeah, like a brilliant, I mean, whoever came up with that, like, you know, it's like, well, we're not
And it
ready,
worked.
but we'll, you know, this will work, we promise.
Yeah.
And I was reading that, so like the first figures that got sent out were Luke and Leia, Chewbacca, and R2D2. And then they supplemented the next, you know,
Wave.
the next 8 of them then got shipped out. But yeah, so we can, I mean, I guess we can go. So I have to say, when I went to Quake, my thought was kind of like, well, if I'm going to start at the beginning, you know.
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's try to find, you know, what I can find at Quake. And he had a bunch of figures underneath the glass, like right where the checkout was. So that was the difficult part for me. I was like, I'm staring at all
I
these
want Vader.
figures, and like, and they're not really, you know, he didn't changed. They're kind of like, all right, from here over are completes, and like from here over are, you know, so you're kind of like digging around through there.
Right.
Or he is, because you're having to point through the glass.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like they got a Han Solo, so there's Han
with his bowl cut. Oh, he's so cute.
with his
Now, is
with
it
his blaster.
large head or small head?
So this is the whichever is like
It's already
the-
nuts. What?
the more common, I think, is the small head.
It is.
So, and this was the other thing, getting into these figures, like I didn't really know price points other than, you know, you kind of, and I have a lesson learned about this later, because
Yeah, but when you're starting,
really-
you don't
Sure.
have that knowledge in your brain yet.
Exactly.
you don't, yeah. And I joined, I don't know if are you guys on the Action Figures 411? Do you guys use that website?
I've been on it, but
I don't know.
it's
may have,
mostly eBay referencing sold listings
Yeah,
for me.
right.
But
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I use it as like my checklist, you know, because that's what
yeah.
it's like easy to like compile on there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it just talking about price points, but even on there, like, it's misleading because the only price point that they give you is like mint in the box, you know, like
Mhm.
eBay sales or whatever, you know. So I got these. I thought, you know, I found another site. It's called like Galaxy of Toys or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's more like, here's like a guide on how to get into this.
Cool.
And maybe I can send you the link. You can put it in the show notes for people. But
Mhm.
it's so I ended up looking at that later. I was like, okay, I came out like pretty decently on all these. But yeah, so that's the Han. I
Good
also
shape.
picked
Got
up
his gun. That's
Chewbacca.
good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, got his gun. Chewbacca. Now the cool thing about the Chewbacca, or the weird thing about the Chewbacca, is the bowcaster doesn't have like the bow part. It's just, it's just like a straightforward like blaster,
Yeah.
Right.
And
But they just call it a bowcaster.
Yeah, and what's fascinating about these toys is like the liberties that they took like away from the movie so that's one of them, where like Chewbacca's bowcaster doesn't really have a bow on the front. But that's cool. So I got those two at Quake. I also got C3PO.
Nice.
So he's looking
So
cool,
shiny.
and he handed him to me across the counter, and he goes, "He's complete." Like, I
He
was
doesn't come with any
yeah.
accessories.
He doesn't come
Mine-
with any accessories.
Mine is not. Mine's missing a hand and a lot of paint on his face.
Oh yeah,
He's in bad
but
shape.
that's kind of cool though, that you can see like the
His feet.
mold.
Oh yeah,
like
the real plastic underneath.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
underneath of him, because he's just coated with whatever plastic on the top
back
of that.
metal.
Back metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then from Quake, I also got the Endor Trooper, but he's later. So yeah, I started there, and then I was like, man, we were in Toy de Jour, and so I went into Toy de Jour, and like we're looking around, and they had a good selection of Star Wars figures too, and I grabbed. They had a R2D2. It was something that if you get into this and you start collecting the R2, they had all the graphics on it. Like that's so they just put a sticker. They wrapped it around the back, and there it is. And his head turns. It kind of clicks when you turn it. So I found one that the sticker was like in pretty decent shape. It had a few blemishes on the front, but I was like, all right. And it was $25 for the R2. And I was like, I don't really know about like the price point on this. And like, I'm just kind of like, I didn't know where to look. And so I was like, well, he's here, and like I definitely need him for C3PO, so I can like set them together. And
Sure. Of course.
Yeah.
and
He's a
so
friend.
I grabbed him. And so then the next day we're at Turbo Toys, and he had an awesome selection of figures. They were just in plastic bags, on pegs on the wall.
You can touch
And
them.
I look, yeah, you can like pick them up and grab, look them over. So I like that a lot. I hate when they're behind glass, because I understand why they're behind glass, but I like being able to look at them. And so
Same.
anyway, I look over, they had a whole row of like Darth Vaders in various various shape of together. And so I look over, and there's two R2s on the peg, and this guy was on there, and he's in really good shape, like for the sticker and then the paint job. Better shape than the $25 one for $10.
God damn it.
And I was like,
Of course.
well, so I bought him. And I was like, all right, well,
I'll trade
serves
you
me
this
right
one for that one.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I was just like, well, that's how it worked out. But and then I ended up getting original Darth Vader there also. Now he's missing a lot of the lightsabers. So the thing that you'll find is that the lightsabers were these weird kind of, it's up in the arm
slider mechanism. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you just slide it out. But they had this weird. Now this is the repro. They had the weird like little tip on the end. Well, those tips, like, they don't survive hardly at all.
Yeah.
I
on
think
the
you're supposed to
original,
chew
so-
on them. I think.
You are supposed. Well, funny story. So, yes. So, so he's missing. He's missing the tip. And but later, I was like, all right, I need. I got home and I went down to a local spot here in town called Game Swap, which primarily they deal with like vintage games and movies, and I get a lot of VHSs there. That's where I got those Turtles VHS. But they had Obi-Wan Kenobi
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
with a chewed, like
Chewed
you could
Yep.
see definitely it got chewed on.
Definitely.
But there he is. His cape is ripped. That's the only
Oh, yeah.
But
Over that
honestly, like
shoulder.
I'd take that with the basically complete
Yeah.
lightsaber,
Yeah.
But I was like, he was $15. I was like, right on. I was under the impression when I started that, like, man, this is just totally out of my range.
Right. You're
like
saying
Star
numbers
Wars
that are
original
okay.
toys.
Yeah, from what I was looking
Yeah.
at prices, this is like way cheaper than what I've seen.
Okay. Oh,
Like,
maybe we
yeah,
should start, Elgin.
People listing stuff that's like, this one's hard to find, complete, and you're looking at $40, $50, $60, more.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Well, I think where it gets into the weeds is like there's so many collectors who are looking for like the variants, and
Yep.
because there's like
Or on
weird, like you were
card,
saying
yeah.
about Han. Yeah, like, but I'm not really, I'm not really a completist. I'm like, I just like I like the journey. It's like with Motu, like I've kind of I hit a point where it was like, right on, I got things I like, and you're just kind of ready for the next adventure,
Mhm.
But price points like Chewbacca, I got him for 20 complete.
Oh, heck.
Han, I think Han was 30. I think he was the most expensive one.
Sure.
But I got the original Darth for 15, like with
Nice.
his cape and a broken
Nice.
saber. But I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
think that was bad. So
That's what the reissues cost. 15, 20.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
what? Why not get a
yeah,
vintage?
no, yeah, why not? Yeah. And I'm also like, I'm not opposed. I mean, I'm sure like somebody listening, if they come across this and they're like a purist, like I was thinking about getting some and like refurbishing them and like
Sure.
that's because they make repro lightsabers, and they make
Sure.
you can like put them, it's just like there's something about a like play.
I agree, Jake.
Mhm. Etsy stores are filled with 3D printed repro like stuff that's you can, like you were doing, Jason, with Motu, getting 3D printed stuff to complete.
Oh, I just did it with
stuff,
some
or-
Transformers weaponry. I love it.
Yeah, it's an
Ah.
easy way to fill out a collection, especially if all you really need is that to have it look close enough to what it looks like, and to fill that need of being 100% complete.
Yeah, so I want to say to Jake, like, yeah, isn't it all about how you feel and how it looks on your
Yes.
shelf? That's all that matters, right?
Exactly, yeah. Well, and I thought like, it gives, and you could like, if you grab a Darth Vader for, incomplete Darth Vader for $5-6 out of the $5 bin, and you give him a new cape and a lightsaber, you can hand him to your kid and be like, here you go, like play with Darth Vader, so that's kind of what I was thinking about. But I think what I'm loving about the line, like I've gotten really, I mean, when you're a kid, you see Star Wars for the first time and it's like blows your mind. Even now, like with all the modern stuff, like special effects, whatever, like you can still watch those movies and be like, holy cow, like this is, that that dogfight at the end of the A New Hope, and like it's just amazing. And so I was getting into it, and I thought, I'm gonna collect these from. These aren't toys that I experienced as a kid. I had Star Wars toys in the 90s, that
Mhm.
were that kind of second generation of toys. And they were cool. I've thought about like maybe picking some of those up, but they're not as desirable. You can buy those all day.
They're pretty cheap. The Power of the Force
But
stuff.
Oh yeah.
yeah. But it's like, it's like history. Like this, it's like a historical moment. And I just think like when I grab one of these, I'm like, man, what was that feeling like as a
Oh
kid
yeah.
at that time? Like you just saw that on the big screen and it blew your mind. And you're like, wait a minute, there's toys coming out now? Like I can play.
Fuels your
play with those,
imagination because
Yeah.
they are only 3 3/4 inches tall. They have so little articulation. It's just like fuel for imagination. These toys.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm a big when it comes to toys, like the less, it's why I like He-Man so much, because it's like the less articulation, the better. Like I felt like the Origin toys were cool, but they were cool like if you wanted to display them, like they're great for displaying because you can pose them and make them do different things. But like playability, like we talked about before, like the old ones you could just kind of bash them together and they held their form, and I like that. The less articulation, I feel like the better for playability, but that's my opinion.
Well, Jake, I'm very excited for you. You're halfway there. You got 6 of the 12.
Yeah.
So we probably should mention
Heck
the ones
yeah.
you don't have. So we got Luke and
Yeah.
Leia, of course. Still got to get those. We got a Stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm. Got to army build those.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jawa.
2 versions.
Yes.
Yep. Sand People, Tusken Raider, and we got the Death Star Trooper, Death Squad Commander.
Yeah. When I was writing down the stuff, I put the 2 versions of Jawa. There's a vinyl clothing, and then there's a cloth. The vinyl one is the rare one, and then the cloth is the more common one. But I put next to Death Squad Commander, but question marks. Like all the rest of them seem like, okay, that makes sense. That these are like main characters, and it's like it's just the guy that's like, pushing buttons on the Death Star. It's like, I would, maybe swap him out with some, I don't know, maybe like Moff Tarkin or something like that, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah,
Put
the
him
Death
as
Star
instead of
Trooper. You're
Death
like,
Squad
what?
Commander.
So generic is.
It just seems like it's like you have all these main characters, and then you like, put him in there. It's like, I don't know.
I did think the Death Squad. I did think that the Death Squad commander was like a really odd choice.
Yeah,
for like the first 12, but like I can, like out of all of them, yeah, like Jawa. I mean, the Jawas feature prominently. The Sand People have a cool, scene, but yeah, it's like Death Squad commander. Okay.
I know. It was weird. I put little question marks next to it when I was there. So I did scour the basement here to see if I had any Star Wars toys.
Good.
I did find one. I think it's a Power of the Force toy from '95.
Found one.
Found one. So I was telling Jason, I found one. Scoured the basement here. Found one Star Wars toy. Here he is.
Elgin owns.
Boom. Power of the Force, Boba Fett.
I'm trying really hard, guys.
No, you're fine.
It's the only Star Wars toy I have here, which leads me into when we were talking about this topic. My thought of it was like, if I was going to collect Star Wars toys, what would I collect? I would go with the bounty hunters. I would, there's in Empire Strikes Back, you see that there's Boba Fett, and then Darth Vader, calls on all these bounty hunters. They're supposed to have a more prominent role in the film, but they got cut.
Oh yeah.
But you can, there's Bosk, Zuckuss, Dengar, 4 LOM, IG-88, and Boba Fett, and they do make them in the Black series, which is like the very high end, fully articulated figures.
Yeah.
So if I was gonna collect Star Wars, I would go for those probably because they match everything else I have with Masterverse and stuff. But looking at these Power of the Force stuff, they're super cheap, and they have all of
Super
them as
cheap.
well. They have all those figures in Power of the Force as well. So I'm like, well, maybe do I just get loose Power of the Force figures for like?
But they
a
are
third of the
different. They're
price?
like beef caked up versions of them, but
those
still,
Black
I mean, you can-
Series,
but still.
are awesome.
You can
the
get
Black Series,
you
Yeah.
can get the Power of the Force like on card for
Oh yeah,
$5.
Oh, easy.
It's like insane.
yeah, 5,
And-
10, yeah, for sure.
But my wife, she's been collecting Black Series figures, and I just got her Princess Leia recently, and then my stepson Finn, who was with us, he was with us while we were going around Chicago, and he didn't realize that there was all these types of stores that are like, and he loves Star Wars. So he came away with like Kylo. He's really into the new movies, because that's kind of his. But he's army building like First Order troopers. And so he's got got a whole ton of them and a Kylo Ren, and like he's on his way.
Yeah, my son likes the Black Series figures as well. And actually at Cracktastic, he picked up one. I was able to get a super deal. So I got a in-box Stormtrooper, the Executioner Stormtrooper, the little thing that he uses, for $10 from Jake. Because he had it for like 20. I was like, hey, would you do this for 10? It's for my kid. He's like, well, if it's for him, I'm like, yeah. So,
the prices on those Black Series ones too, like, are really good. Like,
for what they are.
When we went to the geek toy hut, I think that's what it's called. I can't remember, but it's in Chicago. That place had, if you're like into Black Series figures, that place had some of the best prices on like figures that had been opened but were complete and in the box, for like $8 to $15.
Oh, nice.
Like crazy.
It is called Geek Toy Hut.
So.
Tiffany vouched for that. She's my research assistant. She's really good. She's typing now. Yeah, no, Star Wars, man, it's such great. Everybody's got. Oh, she says it's in Arlington Heights. Yeah, Star Wars. Who can't love Star Wars? It's so freaking good. I'll even go out and say, I don't know if you've watched the new Andor season, but I think the 2 seasons of Andor and Rogue One are like the new best trilogy. I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Incredible.
I haven't finished Andor, but we're halfway through the second season right now.
I can't wait for you to finish so we can talk.
I've been watching again Mandalorian again with Ethan.
Oh man,
because he wanted to watch it from like the beginning.
Heck
so
yeah.
we got through season 1 of the Mandalorian, and then we're on Book of Boba Fett, because I'm like, it kind of has to go into, because it goes into it a bit. And I'm like, well, you need to watch this and then watch the season 2. So that's where we're at right now. We're just watching
so good.
The Book of Boba Fett currently. But yeah, he's digging it.
Yeah,
I love it all.
But and I think these shows are like, I mean, it definitely inspired me to like. I was like, again, it's like, everybody loves Star Wars. I've loved Star Wars since I was a kid, but like you're watching these again and you're like, man, Star Wars is awesome.
Right. Thank you, Jake,
I mean?
for reminding us.
It's just like
everyone.
Star Wars is
it's
awesome.
just like, it's awesome. Anybody who doesn't really like it, or I mean, I get it. Like I get the
burnout.
those movies.
I could see that. It could get a lot, sure.
Yeah,
but man,
it's awesome.
If I just see the stars start to scroll down, or I hear any of that John Williams music, it's just like, I'm there. I'm in the world. I'm in the universe. I love that place. I love it.
Yeah.
We need to move on, guys. What's going on? Any last research or anything to say about the first 12? You going to keep going, Jake? You going to get the other 6?
Oh, You cut out a
Are you-
little bit. What
Are
was
you
that
going to get?
last question?
Are you going to keep going? Are you going to get the last 6 there to finish the first 12? Are you officially
finish
gonna,
the first 12?
Yes.
We may never know, guys. Just kidding. Oh,
Hopefully he does.
I do. I think so.
It seems attainable, but I mean, the ones he has left are kind of. I mean,
Maybe a little harder,
Luke
but
and Leia might be a little harder, and Jawa
I think
maybe.
what you have first 12.
Are you gonna finish
do I have
the 12?
first? All right, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the assumption that that's what you
go with it.
I'm actually going this weekend. There's 2 spots here in town, and my wife and I were gonna go on like a toy hunting date
Cool.
excursion. And yeah, I'm gonna look for a couple more to add to the first 12. So I'm probably on the hunt where I'd like to go ahead and
Yep. That sounds like a great plan. We've never really had it this bad before, so it's like I don't want to make fun of it, but
Yeah.
it's a bummer.
Hopefully
He'll be right back.
he'll be
This
right back.
internet.
And when he goes out on his toy hunt with his wife, he'll find the other 6.
Yes. Maybe.
Yes.
He's back.
Yes, I hope I do find the other 6.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As Tiffany says,
Hopefully
toy hunting dates
Luke
are the
and-
best.
Luke and Leia hopefully next,
For sure.
because Luke's the hero, you know.
Got to. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. We're going to tell you about our podcast network, the PFPN. This nice lady is going to explain herself.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
All right, we're back, and now Elgin's going to take us on a store tour. All right.
All right. Today's store is called Road to the Past Collectibles. It's at 4486 Harrison Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's about 7 hours and 26 minutes from Atumwa. But if you're in Indianapolis, it's only an hour and 39 minutes. It has a bunch of
It's right
G.I.
down the road
Joe.
from me.
Yeah, exactly. G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, Motu, Marvel DC, and lots of other vintage toys. Tons of vintage toys there. But did you know that the Cincinnati Observatory is the oldest professional observatory in the U.S. and is known as the birthplace of American astronomy? So look to the stars, look to the Star Wars, and you may find your way to Road to the Past Collectibles at 4486 Harrison Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Jake can vouch for that place. All right, before we go today, definitely want to remind everyone, if you want to help support the show, that'd be amazing. We can use all the help we can get spreading the good word of Cracktastic Plastic. Lots of easy ways to do it. Tell a friend, go to the Apple Podcast, 5-star reviews. That's what Elgin's favorite is. So
I love them.
he loves those. He wants to
Just
read
eat 'em
them. Yeah. And like he said at the beginning of the show, one of the best ways is go to enlistinthecore.com.
Yes.
It's a cool website, and it's basically our Patreon page. You can go there. and see all the different perks and tiers and choose what's best for you. You can get cool things like exclusive videos, bonus episodes just for you. You can get shout outs on the show. You can get early access to videos. You can be in an exclusive chat with Elgin, I, and the other core members, which is a lot of fun. Always something interesting being shown in there daily. It's no shortage of that. But like I said, one of the perks, and if you're more of a YouTube person, right down below there, hit that join button. Same perks, same prices, all that fun stuff, basically.
Yes.
But like we said, one of the cool perks is shout outs on the show. So I'm going to do that now. Going to shout out our core members. We got Tony Miller, Chris Turnip Simmons, Alex LaForest, Bill Fisher, Colin Bunn, and Chris DeMonico.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. That's so lucky to have them core members. And now Jake's back. He's going to give us one last shout out. Tell us where we can find him or what's up, or say goodbye to Jake, whatever you want to do, Jake.
Plug away.
And he's typing to me, just tell my internet provider to, I'm just kidding.
Tell them to eat a bag.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy.
Of course.
Any shout outs or okay, no, we're just gonna go. Jake and that darn thank you, Jake. We're really lucky to have Jake on the show.
Good to see him and talk to him. It's been too long.
It's been too long. And like you said, it's kind of his fault that we're here, and I can't thank him enough for that. So I think we're gonna sneak out of here and just go and apologize to Jake later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, Jake.
Sorry, buddy. Dang internets. It's tough.
It is.
All right. Well, until next time, everybody keep being awesome. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. But not so fast, my foul fiends. Don't forget to follow these fools on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And visit cracktasticplastic.com. I'll be back.